Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
You gotta keep moving, let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears.
Because you'll have bad times, but that'll always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
From the Cancer Sucks Studios, you just tuned in to Life Lessons and Cancer Hope with Coach Steve. Listen, cancer ain't got nothing on me. Introducing an outstanding podcast where we discuss relatable life lessons, ambition, motivation, and perseverance. Welcome back to another episode. Hey, we got somebody on Instagram. So, all right, we're going to start in a couple minutes here. We're just starting our YouTube stream. If you are on Instagram Live, if you go to the bio, the link in the bio, you can go to YouTube and you can actually see my special guest, my surprise guest today, Emmie. She's here, and we're going to take questions today. We can take them on Instagram or we can take them on the YouTube Live. We're going to actually be on Facebook Live as well. For those that follow me on Facebook. Let me just make sure the YouTube is ready to go here. I guess it was waiting for me. So thanks for your patience. We're just going to get things going here. Managing a couple of different devices here for this live stream is not easy.
So kind of cool that you got it going and figuring it out. I've just, done the easy platforms.
Yeah. And of course, learning, it's a little learning for me to try to figure this out here. Hey, Jimmy's on Instagram here. We got to get together. Jimmy and I, he's got a two-time cancer survivor, and now his daughter is fighting cancer, and so he's going to be on a podcast soon. He just joined on Instagram. You guys are just joining in here. Let me just I'm trying to figure this out here. Never done a live stream. Got couple different devices here. It's supposed to just go live on YouTube, and I wonder if it thinks it's not Eastern Standard Time, because it is. Let me see here. So usually, when you pre-record this stuff, it's much smoothly, but when you're doing live, it's you gotta have everything all set to go. Come on now, let's go. It says excellent connection. I might have to do it without the looks like you're ready. Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready. YouTube says, looks like you're ready. Yeah, I know. I've been ready. What is going on here? All right, there we go. There's the preview. All right, so we got this up and rolling here on YouTube finally. And it looks like that the chat is also up on YouTube. So you guys, anybody on there, you guys can post your questions there. Anybody on Instagram, I am on my phone on Instagram down here, and then I got my YouTube up here. We do those that are on, looks like we got a couple people, 3 people on Instagram. You guys, if you want to see Emmie, she's my special guest today. Actually, Tenacious Jess, you know her, right? Because I think Jess, is this the same Jess that was on last night?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I just met Jess last night.
So. Oh, you just met Jess last night. Yeah. So, Jess, give us a confirmation that was the same Jess from last night from the Clubhouse. And we're going to talk about that. We'll let Emmie talk about that. But, all All right. Well, while we're still waiting for a few other people coming on board, I feel bad. Those guys that are on Instagram, you're not going to be able to hear. Emmie, you can only hear me. But unless you go to, if you go to the bio, link in my bio. Oh yeah, that is me. Okay, Tenacious Jess. She goes, yes, that's me. All right, great. If you go to the my bio, my profile, and link tree right there. It's so easy. I have the direct link to the YouTube live. Then this way you can hear and see Emmie. Oh, okay. You're gonna move over to YouTube. Okay, yeah. And this is just, we're just all having fun with this. I mean, we don't have to, like I said, it takes a few minutes to get some more people. And yeah, and it looks like Jimmy just got done with a crazy leg workout cardio. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I had that for those that and this is going to be recorded and we're going to put this out too. So, but before we get into our special guest here, she's going to tell us her story of her cancer journey. But just to give you an update, I think the podcast number 1 was my story that only led up to I think my surgery at New York Sloan, getting the HAA pump and ripped me open 22 inches and all that, flayed open like a fish. So, and then this summer happened and I got emergency surgery because before that, man, I had all this back pain and nobody knew where it was coming from. I had an MRI. It wasn't orthopedic or neuro. It's just, I think it was just coming from my colon or anyway. So, and then I had this epigastric pain, terrible. And I thought it was, we thought it was stress, like I can't even think of the word now. Acid reflux, and I in and out of the ER, and it just became frustrating. And then I went to my old stopping grounds where I used to work as a registered nurse out in Geneva, New York, and went out there twice because apparently I had to move some bowels. I had a little trouble, didn't even realize it. According to the CAT scan, it showed some stool in there, and not to be TMI, but apparently the reason for that was because I had bowel obstructions, in and out of bowel obstructions, because the adhesions from the earlier surgery was causing an issue. So, which is common, the scar tissue. Usually it takes a little bit longer though, sometimes a couple of years, but they said, hey, it can happen at any time after bowel surgery. The adhesions can cause, strangulation or, shrinking of the part of the colon. They got to go in and clean it out. No big deal, but they couldn't do it laparoscopically, so they had to reopen me up. Not as big of an incision, but they went in the old one. And pain in the ass for sure. Kind of ruined a little bit of a vacation for us at Ocean City, New Jersey. But the kids had fun. That was important. The wife, 15 of us, family. But the emergency surgery was 2 days prior to that. And then, of course, last week went for a lung ablation they found a third lung tumor. So they zapped that. And after they zapped that, oh, sorry. I'm just looking at this YouTube. Hey, good morning. We got Jessica Bouchot. You know what? I'm not even going to try last names because I will annihilate the last names like totally wrong. So I don't want to do that. But anyway, so yeah, hey, good morning. So Emmie's here on the West Coast, Washington State, and I am in upstate New York. But anyway, so I had the lung ablation last week, and of course my lung collapsed. So I had just a day with a chest tube, and it still sucked, but recovering from that. But and then I get new scans in October. So we'll see, whether we're going to do a little bit of cross coverage chemo or whether we're going to stop chemo and just watch scans every 3 months. That's what we're hoping. No evidence of disease, but all right. Yeah. We got James up on the YouTube now too. So abdominal zipper. I know, right? Because, it's funny. They need to do a surgery to cover the adhesions that is causing the bowel obstruction from the prior surgery, but then they just open you up and it's going to cause even more adhesions. So it's like a vicious circle. So yeah, I foresee myself getting a surgery again in the future. But yeah, James, that would be awesome if they could come up with some kind of zipper. Right. But all right. So this is Emmie. Now that you guys can see her on YouTube, and tell us, who you are, and tell us a little bit about your cancer journey.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Emmie. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and not late last year, around December, like mid-December, I went in for a physical, my yearly exam. Always go, for my yearly exam, and everything went well with my doctor. I was headed out the door. She's like, wait. Before you leave, because you've always been really healthy, is there anything going on with anything? Even something small. I thought, well, I just feel kind of bloated and gassy and have some cramps, but it isn't a big deal. Um, she's like, well, let's do some ultrasounds. And I thought, well, is that really necessary? It's just probably gas. It's gas. And she's like, no, let's do it. You're a pretty healthy person, and I just want to check it out. So the following week, the Monday, she had me go do some ultrasounds, abdominal and pelvic ultrasound. And immediately after that, I get a call saying, hey, we would like you to come in and do a CT scan. And I thought, well, this is a really busy week because, Christmas was coming up. It was like less than a week away. And we had all these things planned and going on. And I'm like, can I push it out till like a little bit after Christmas? And I'm like, no, we have an appointment for you tomorrow. And I'm like, wait, what? No, I can't make it. I'm at work and I don't even have time to take off. And it's such short notice. Like, no, you're coming in tomorrow. And I thought, okay. So I went in to do the CT scan the following day. And within 45 minutes, we get this call as I'm driving home. And the doctor, my PCP, calls and says, hey, Emmie, I'd like to talk to you. Are you driving right now? And I said, yeah, but it's only my husband in the car. So just go ahead. You can tell him anything. It's just fine. She's like, no, I really need for you to pull over. So we found like a little bank parking lot to pull over. And he's like, I really hate to tell you this, but, I consulted with the oncologist already and my ears kind of like, wait, what? And she's like, you have colon cancer, and we're going to get through this. I'm going to set you up with with an appointment with an oncologist. And, my ears are ringing from, you have colon cancer. They're just ringing and my ears plug and, oh, just the shock of it. I'm crying and my husband's in sheer shock over what's happening, what's coming over speakerphone. And it was just so surreal. And, we switched places. He drove home and I went home, cried, talked to my best friend. And she said, oh, the next day was Christmas. It was the 24th. So my girlfriend said, oh, come over to our house. I'm like, I don't want to tell anyone. It's before Christmas. It's before New Year's, before the holidays. I don't want to be a damper and ruin people's holidays, And so the following day, decided to go to my best friend. And then I get this call before I even get out of the car from my doctor again. He was like, okay, I got appointment with the oncologist on, you know, Monday. And then I have a colonoscopy on Wednesday. And then we're setting you up for a port on Friday. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? I know you told me I had colon cancer, but is there like a level or stage or what's going on? What what stage am I at? And she says, I'm so sorry, but you're stage 4. And I, finding out that I had colon cancer was awful. But finding out that I had stage 4 colon cancer
Yeah.
was just a punch in the gut. And so she's like, I will talk to you next week. I'm so sorry. Everything is kind of, up in the air but I got these appointments down for you. It's a, Christmas weekend and you have to forgive us because we're juggling our schedules and I'm just thinking, okay, I'll talk to you soon, Dr. Smythe. I was just in shock. And,
I just got to pause you right there. Maybe, I don't know if you can speak a little louder. I just got a message. They sound a little bit far away. I don't know if you can speak a little closer to the mic or if you got your buds or whatever.
This is better. I'll speak a little bit louder.
All right. You guys let me know. Let me know if any issues out there.
But I ended up walking up this hill to my girlfriend's house, and I could barely walk. My legs are shaking, and I get in, and my girlfriend's just stunned, and she's like, "What is going on? Are you okay? Are you?" And I told her, I just talked to the doctor, stage 4 colon cancer. I basically collapsed on her floor and they had to pick me up and console me. And it was stunning. Like, I'm in this healthy person. How could this happen to me? Like, what are you talking about? I've been eating right. I've been doing my thing. I've done all this, stuff to make myself healthier. And I just don't understand. And now you're telling me I have this colon cancer. What the hell am I going to do with my life? And then, fast forward after, through that awful weekend, because it was the longest frickin' weekend ever, because, the following, what was it? Right after Christmas, I had that appointment with the doctor, the oncologist, and we go see the oncologist. And she is this awful person that basically told me, hey, you have 1 or 2 years to live, you're inoperable, and chemo can prolong your life. And here's your options, Folfox or I think it was Zolota. And I thought, what? 1 or 2 years? And here I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to cram my life in 2 years? I have so many plans to do. I wanted to travel. I want to do all these things with my friends. I'm going to be 50 in a couple of years. Like, what the hell? So, I basically, we were in there like half an hour and I'm like, okay, she's fired already. I need to step up research and find me another oncologist. So, I ended up finding another oncologist and that has helped. That had helped so much more. She's like, I would have never told you that. It's like, you don't have an expiration date. You don't have, I can't promise you that, 1 to 2 years that you're going to lose your life. I just can't promise you anything, but what we can do is move
You're going
forward.
by old statistics. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. They're like, but I could promise you more years, but I can't promise you that you're going to, I can't promise you a lifetime. She said, but we're going to work on this. We're going to, do great. And, you're going to do great. You're going to do this chemo. You're going to get the surgery. Um, or I already got the surgery. I'm sorry. I saw her like maybe a week later after I did a bunch of research. But yeah, ended up getting the port surgery. And so she had a plan going. And what was awesome, I had her from January to March, and then she decided she had to leave because she had to take care of family. And I was devastated. I was devastated because she was awesome. I'm like, Dr. G, what? You're leaving me. And I was in tears. And I'm like, and she was great. But I'm like, okay, you need to refer me to someone that's aggressive, that's really going to really fight for me, fight with me, rather than just treat me like, I'm like, you've been treating me and fighting with me, and I love it. I'm like, I need that. I need the communication. I need someone to be open and honest when things come up. And it's like, okay, I referred you on to this doctor, Dr. Martin. He's great. He's been here for a long time. And he's a very aggressive oncologist. And so as much as I love Dr. G and she was really awesome, oh my God, Dr. Martin he was great. When I say aggressive, he was aggressive. He's like, okay, you're not, I know you're on this oxy, I had done like maybe 4 rounds of full fox already. And he's like, you're a trooper at this. Can we bump it up a little? Can we bump up the oxy a little? You know, I just want to make sure things are working for you. And just, I'm like, let's do it. I'm like, I'm doing it. Whatever we need to do, get the shit out of me. Sorry, excuse the French.
Yeah, I mean, no pun intended. But, yeah.
I want this out of me. So I'm like, whatever we could do, let's do it. If I can tolerate it, I'll do it. So went on with the treatments. Did another round of full fox, oxy, Avastin, and we decided to do a CT scan. A CT scan after the 5th round, I believe. And amazingly, everything shrunk in half, which was great, So 6th round comes along and he's like, or what was this? 6th or 7th. Anyways, he's like, things shrunk great. He's like, this is awesome. I'm going to send you off to the liver tumor surgeon, and I'm going to send you off to the colorectal surgeon, and I'm going to suggest that they take a look at you, see if you're operable. And I thought, that's awesome. Oh my God, hallelujah. So he sent me off to them to get to see if I'll be operable. Unfortunately, the liver tumor surgeon said I'm not operable. And so the colorectal surgeon said, well, it was really dependent on the liver tumor surgeon, Dr. Park, to see if he would be operable. Then I would come in and I would do the secondary surgery on the primary colon. But since he said no, I'm going to have to tell you that I can't do the surgery either. However, the liver tumor surgeon, Dr. Park, said, hey, but I think because I started asking him about the Y90 HAI pump because I was kind of doing research on it. And I was asking you about that too, Steve, bunch of questions about the HAI pump. And that's how I kind of got into learning about this stuff. And so I was asking, Dr. Park about, hey, what about the Y90? He's like, doesn't look good. Like a good option right now. But we'll do that as a Hail Mary. And I thought, man, that was beating right there. He's like, but I think you're a good candidate for the HAI. And I thought,
that's good then.
I was like, I'm going to shoot over an email to Dr. Mayo and OHSU in Oregon to see, what maybe he could do for you. So I get this phone call like a week and a half later from Dr. Mayo's office making an appointment for me. And, it all happened so quickly from like July 14th from the initial consultation, July 28th, finding out, yeah, we're going to do surgery. And then August 20th, doing surgery for the HAI pump, removal of the primary colon cancer. And here I am, have the pump in me. Been about a month. The plan now is waiting for the rest of the tumors to shrink. So eventually I could be operable again. They go in and take out the rest of the tumor. So yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, I just got to pause you right there. I got a couple more people that just joined us on Instagram. You guys, if you go to check out the link in the bio, I can't stream through the Riverside that I'm using through Instagram, but I can through YouTube. So that's why I'm using Instagram on my phone. And you guys can hear more of the audio and our special guest, Emmie, through YouTube. It's right, as soon as you get to the my profile on Instagram, click on the link tree, and then you can see the YouTube link right from there. So Marv, good to see you. I did a podcast actually this morning with Marv. He's from Toronto, Canada, doing a fighting stage 4 colon cancer, and waiting on a liver transplant. So his situation's a little different than Emmie's and my liver. Yeah, so check out that podcast. Probably going to get released early next week. And then we have somebody else that joined, Areem. So yeah, you guys go to the link tree, the YouTube link, and this way you can hear. Because if not, you'll just see me sit here and listen to Emmie talk, and then you guys won't think what's going on over there. So all right, so sorry about this. So yeah, so now fast forward, you got the HAI pump, right? You went into surgery.
Yeah, next week I go in for my first FUDR treatment, which is the actual chemo that they place in the pump. And I wait a couple weeks and then we'll fill it with heparin and steroids. And then the week after, or a couple weeks after that, I'll start systemic chemo on full fury. So, yeah, we got
all right, great.
a plan.
We have a question by Jessica, which is the same Jess from last night. She says, can you talk about what other treatments you're able to have while you're on the HAI pump? And so I think you just answered that. You're going to be on, what was it? Full Fury?
Full Fury.
Full Fury.
Yeah.
Okay. During the FUDR, right?
During the FUDR, it will be, it'll be every other week, or every other treatment. So one treatment I'll come in for the FUDR, and then in a couple weeks I'll come in for the systemic chemo, which will be the Full Fury. And then the next week will be just heparin and steroids.
Right.
And then the following week next 2 weeks, it'll be Full Fury. And then we do the FUDR, because the FUDR you only have once a month.
Once a month. Yep. And that's for me too. So for those that aren't familiar with the HAI pump, it's by Medtronics. It's a small pump, I shouldn't say small pump, but about the size of a hockey puck inside your belly, above your, above your abdominal muscles. I mean, it's right underneath the skin. It's got a little port, like a Metaport, they can access with a needle, although that needle is definitely bigger than the Metaport needle that they use, because it definitely stabs the hell out of me. So I don't look forward to that sting every 2 weeks. But so they use the FUDR, and it's a very almost like lethal dose. Like if it was systemic, it'd probably kill you. But what's nice is they can use a very high concentrated high dose of this FUDR of this chemo, and you don't get any side effects. You don't get any systemic side effects from it because it just goes right into the hepatic artery that leads to the tumors of your liver. And they have gotten so many good, so many good outcomes from it. And in such a short time that they actually like told me, hey, yeah, we can actually, just having a couple of doses of the, after 2 or 3 months of the pump, they can look at reoperating and then maybe going back in and finishing off, plucking out the, as long as they got margins, but, for me, I didn't even need another surgery. I mean, the pump, finished it off. I mean, the Y90 killed some, and then the HAI finished it off. And so I'm hoping for clear scans again in October. So, but for you, you're just starting. This is great. I mean, and I think it's great that they're doing, um, full theory because honestly, when I had the FUDR after surgery, they just did the 5FU. It was like the maintenance chemo.
Yeah.
They didn't they wanted to see, what was going to happen. Because they did talk about, possibly going back on full fear or actually full fox fury, which is oxaliplatin with it, even though I had a reaction from it. They said sometimes a year later they can reintroduce oxaliplatin back in the body after a reaction, with some steroids and some Benadryl and things like this. That's what my oncologist said, but I'm really glad we didn't have to go that route because, as you know, and other people listening know that oxaliplatin is horrendous. Still dealing with neuropathy and things like that from it. But
Mm.
no, that's good. So full theory, that's a renotican, right? 5FU, leucovorin,
Yeah.
and which is the vitamin, right? And then a renotican. And renotican is a really harsh
I
chemo drug too.
I heard, I tolerated Oxyclin very well. I
Yeah. Well, that's
believe we
good.
bumped it up. They adjusted it. They lowered and um, bumped it back up. But I got nausea. I didn't do a lot of vomiting. But I got the neuropathy in the hands and the feet. I've been off of it since June, the oxy since June. So, but I still have the, neuropathy in the fingers and toes, and, uh, which is frustrating, and the palate of
Yeah.
my tongue. But it's going on to full fury. They said, "Oh, you won't have those side effects, that you got, so it'll be a little bit better." But if you had diarrhea while you had full thoughts, yeah, full fury will probably be worse. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to be wearing some Depends or something
Oh no. Well,
because
see, it was opposite for me. I because of all the antiemetics, like they would give you this, maybe for you guys too, this Oxali, which is a IV push antiemetic drug, and it would last for like 3 days or something. This anti-nausea IV push stuff, and then I would take like the Zofran around the clock, and all these antiemetics actually give you constipation. So I actually had more constipation than loose stools from the chemo drugs because of all the, and then if you're taking pain medicine on top of that, if you're taking any kind of opiates and things like that, of course that's gonna bind you up more. So, but yeah, they say that the irinotecan and some of these chemo drugs will definitely give you some loose stools.
yeah, I'm kind of worried about that, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
you might be all right. If you take the Zofran, I don't know. Everybody's different. I had such a hard time. I had to take Zofran around the clock. And Jessica put in a comment. She said, "Wow, that's a lot of treatment at once for you." And then she said, "Oh, that makes sense how you can tolerate so much treatment because, especially if you're going to be back on full fury, that's
Mhm.
aggressive,
It
and
is.
then you're going to do the FUDR. You're definitely going to blow these tumors up,
Uh, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm so hoping so, but I just, I've been on those. a few HAI pump groups on. That's Colon Town. And, I went on there and put a poll up there. Who has this type of, um, who has this type of, what is it, pump, and I asked, how often do you fill pump? And, are you, I asked these people, how often do you fill them? Are you NED? How are, how are you doing since the pump? And I got, some positive feedback from people, but, they still have, a few of them, they were like, I'm still on FUDR or I'm not on FUDR. They kind of, they had to worry about my bile duct system. And because of, the HAI pump, they put a little bit too much FUDR. And so it changed up their liver enzymes. And so there was like a whole potpourri of different things going on with people with their pumps. So, and only one person commented that, they were on systemic chemo at the same time. So I'm trying to still find out and kind of research on how well that, that systemic chemo is going to help me because people do still have pop-ups. They had, like you had the 3 that popped up in your lung, 3 nodules you mentioned that popped up in your lungs. And I'm wondering, I wonder if this Fulfuri will help out with to prevent that for me.
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Because
She said, because my oncologist said that, because I ended up taking some breaks and then I had the surgery, the emergency surgery and things like that. So she actually said that, it's, not that it was a bad thing, she said, but, unfortunately, I took a break even from the 5FU. And, so that's, so then I ended up having a little Mets in the lung, but,
oh,
from having the break. But so if you're gonna, you're gonna do the full Fury, I think that'll, that should, I don't know. It's almost like you need to like, if you need to come off chemo, it's almost like you definitely needs to make sure that everything is gone.
exactly.
And then take a break and then just watch scans. So that's what I'm hoping in October because,
Yeah.
you come off chemo because of this procedure, this surgery, and, you get something pop up, it's fast too, within 2 months, a month, you get Mets.
That was quick. I was surprised to hear that from you when you went kind of
Yeah.
now to the hospital. I was worried about you there. And so yeah, I was kind of questioning the thought that, well, I guess it's like they're making sure all the rest of the cancer cells are dying out at the same time as the FUDR working in or the pump working into my liver. So I guess that makes sense. And I did question why all this chemo at the same time. They're like, no, it's the regimen that we usually give to most of our patients. And I thought, okay, well, I could see it.
Yeah, if you can tolerate it,
And tolerate it.
being aggressive at this
I mean, I
point,
get it. That's
going
what
through
I
so
want.
much stuff already.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because I want this out of me eventually.
Yeah.
I like, please take this out of me. But and reach that NED status and
Yeah,
is the
absolutely.
goal. But yeah, I think it'll be hard on my body, but we'll see how many rounds that I'll be able to tolerate. They weren't specific if I was going to do 12, 6, 3.
Right.
They just said, it depends on your body, right?
Never know.
We'll see how it goes. We have to make sure to take those labs like crazy,
Yep.
and make sure that everything's on the up and up before we go forward each time you have your treatment. So
Yeah, they actually told me I needed scans more frequently.
yeah,
So instead of 3 months, I needed 2 months because of the HAA pump. Hey, we just have Catherine White. You remember Catherine? She was on our Zoom group. I think
yes,
originally the first or second one.
yes.
Yeah. So so Catherine, if you're still on Instagram Live, go to the YouTube link on my profile bio so you can see Emmie. She's a surprise guest. We're just talking here, and Catherine White also has a podcast. She's a life coach and a cancer survivor. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Good to see you, Catherine.
yeah.
Uh,
So we'll have her. I don't know if she's on. She switched over to YouTube yet or not. But we'll see what happens here. So yeah. So we were talking. There was something you brought up, and I wanted to. Oh yeah, so the statistics. I wanted to share my screen here and show you guys something. So yeah, there's a great book out there, and actually I don't know if you remember Emmy, Stacy. Oh, now I'm going to screw up her last name, Gaitlin or Gatlin. She was
Oh,
actually a military
yes. Yes.
girl too.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's fighting. She had some Mets. So she was talking about one of our Zoom calls. She was talking about this book, and I don't know if you guys. Okay, so I have it up on the screen now. So except it's not going to YouTube. I don't know why. Anyway, this Radical Remission, and it's by Kelly Turner. I think she's a doctor. But and then she came up with a second book called there it is. Oh, there's a little delay on YouTube, which is fine. So now it's popping up for you guys. So Radical Remission by Kelly Turner. So and then she came out with a second book called Radical Hope. And it talks about how these doctors are let me go back to us here. Are not there's only a few doctors that will actually take the time to I guess they all go to these seminars and things like that to keep up with the updates on cancer and things like that. But she was saying like how a lot of these doctors they don't take that information back and do anything with their patients because they're either complacent in their practice, they're seeing patients in and out, and then they go home to their families and then they repeat the next day. And so the statistics are more of deaths, I guess, instead of remissions. And that's why it's so important to get different opinions and get opinions from doctors that are involved in treatments and clinical trials, and so we can actually get these statistics changed. And she actually hunts down papers and things like that, and research survivors that here we go. Just put up a comment here. Kelly Turner made a movie to follow. Oh, she did. She made a movie to follow up the book called Heal. It's incredible. I'm going to write this down right now because I did not know that she actually. I am a fan of her books. I did not know that she actually has a movie out. It's called Heal, Heal. So you guys definitely check that out. Wow. But anyway, in her book, that's what she was talking about. And, and then they go through, she goes through actual cases of cancer patients, going through these radical remissions. And it's amazing of some of these stories. And so I think there was like nine things. I don't know off the top of my head, but on the first book. And then on the second book, which I'm glad they did because I'm a proponent of physical fitness, she added physical fitness as a game changer to fighting cancer as the number 10. But the 1 through 9, there was things like diet, supplements, positive affirmations, positivity of the mind. There's a whole bunch of things. And there were some patients where they took like a couple of things, one or two things out of that, or there was patients that took upon several factors of the 10, and it showed that it was a game changer towards healing. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I gotta check out that. Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to check that book out or not. I mean, but
I'm gonna look in them. I am.
Yeah, I'm more of an Audible kind of guy. So they do have it on Audible, especially with all the driving that we do, to these appointments and things like that, and on the train rides. And so my wife and I'll put on an Audible book and we'll listen. But yeah, no,
That's
that's
a
good.
good idea. I travel almost 3.5 hours to Portland every couple of weeks.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, you got what? I think 10 or 12 hours. I mean, so you can get a book in, in
yeah,
a couple of drives,
yeah,
back and forth,
yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
you
Good
know.
idea. I will
Yeah.
look into those books. And the movie, Kelly Turner, is it Heal?
Heal.
Is that what?
Yeah, HEAL, Heal.
Hmm.
I'll have to figure out where I can get the movie from. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll just Google that and see if it's streaming anywhere. Maybe it's on iTunes or something. I can just buy it or rent it. But yeah, no, that's great. That's interesting. So we are gonna. So we're trying out this Q&A. Obviously, it takes some time for um some traction on a new channel and a podcast. I've been doing this for some months now, but it takes some time. I think that my plan is to do a Q&A podcast every month on top of the having guests on and talking about their cancer story and things like that. But we talked about maybe in November starting a coffee in the morning. I mean, doesn't you just say coffee in the morning, but the podcast doesn't have to stream in the morning, because obviously it depends on where you live. We could have somebody in the overseas or West Coast, East Coast, but it's just the idea of having a panel of people. I can hold up to 8 people on this platform here, and not just get one or two. It's nice if people put in some real questions, especially the new. I don't know what to call them. You know what I mean? Newbies, novices of cancer, fighting cancer, new warriors. I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, I mean, they're going to have questions, and the same questions come up all the time in these Facebook groups, because you got constantly new people, it's sad, new diagnoses like every day. So of course you're going to have the same questions, but, do a Q&A and have like a panel of people, so maybe you get a different perspective or a different experience, not just colon cancer. This channel is for any cancer. So I'm hoping to have like even a breast cancer survivor on the panel, and we could have ovarian, testicular, whatever, blood cancers, childhood cancers. Gosh, it's all out there. But yeah, no, that I think that'll be great to get perspectives of different people, and maybe even have a surprise, like have an additional guest or two besides the core people. It's almost like I never, maybe one or twice, but not a fan, but The View. Like how like they have the panel, the table, The View, the show The View, but it's all women. But here we can have like men and women. But and then they have different views, I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they call it The View. But something like that, where you have like a different panel of people, perspectives on to answer questions. But we did have one on one of the Facebook groups. They commented on one of the posts. And he said something about after having colon surgery a year later, when or how often should you be getting checked? And I thought that was a interesting question because, I mean, if you just had colon surgery and let's say you are Ned, all right, no evidence of disease for those guys out there. I think the term remission is, I think that's just for blood cancers. I'm not entirely sure. But you should be getting checked every 3 months, I would think. Statistics show that the cancer can come back at a high percentage within the first 2 years. Am I right? And then the next 3 years, it drops. And then once you hit 5 years, it's, the chance of it coming back is basically very, very low. Correct me among those listeners out there. You guys can correct me, but that's, So I would think you'd want to scan every 3 months for the first 2 years. I mean, I'm going to advocate that.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
would do.
I've heard people go 6 months, but if you're within those first 2 years, 6 months is a long time. Like you can get like if you get something brewing, 6 months, in 6 months, you can have, I don't know, you can have a pretty good sized tumor,
I
right?
agree. I agree. When I was talking to had my post-op appointment with my colorectal surgeon who removed the primary, cancer colon. Um, he told me, "Hey, okay, well, I'm gonna see you every 2 months for the next year, just to make sure things are going good. And we're gonna do a colonoscopy once a year." And I'm like, wait, once a year? Not like I'm thrilled to do a colonoscopy once a year. Okay, that's great. But he's like, no, I'm going to change it up to 6 months. We're going to have you make sure that nothing festers in there and things are gone. So I'm like, okay, I'm down with a colonoscopy in 6 months. I don't look forward to it
No,
because it's awful.
I'm due now for one. I'm not looking forward to it.
I know. So I
I'm like,
felt
a year already? Wow.
I felt more relief after he said, okay, 6 months versus 12. Because you don't want
Yeah,
anything
true.
festering, maybe
No.
growing in there. So I felt comfortable. But yes, I will when I talk to my surgeon, I already asked him about how often we're gonna, do the CT scans. Um and he said like every 2 to 3 months. And I thought, okay, that sounds great. And I'm like, okay, so if I get to NED eventually, how often do you check? He's like, well, it's normally 3 to 6. I mean, I'm always pushing it. I'm gonna make it to NED. That's my that's
Yeah.
my goal.
Yeah.
So, but I think every 3 months I would advocate for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
you
to get
hear
out
these,
there.
you hear these, even people that we know, like from the groups, and they reach NED, and then in 3 months, they got something. They got to go back to chemo because within the first 2 years, you got chance of it coming back. So it's almost like, yeah, okay, like when I reach NED, I'm gonna try to be aggressive in the scans because you can't take that for granted that you're no evidence of disease. Like that's it. Okay, we're done. We healed cancer. Until we get to that 5 year mark. So gotta advocate for yourself.
Yeah,
The doctor's not gonna advocate for you, so you gotta do it yourself.
exactly. But that's what I tell everyone. I mean, I don't think I would have gotten to this point, getting to the pump, um, getting these surgeries unless I advocate for myself. Um,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had a friend just recently pass away, Chanel,
Oh, yeah.
and Ch- Chanel, she was kind of stuck in Oklahoma City, not not a big place known for a lot of you know big hospitals that treat cancer. And so I think Chanel's outlook of it was, okay, I'll do what the doctor tells me. But there were a lot of things that, she didn't get that I got. And I always asked her, I'm like, well, what are your CEA levels? She's like, what are those? I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know what your CEA level.
Right.
Um, and so she started questioning these things. And, even her doctors seem so lax about a lot
Yeah.
of the information. And you know and like you were talking about it earlier, that some of these doctors, they really just don't go out of their way learning more information on, you know, cancer treatments or other types of treatments that are available. They just go on with what they know, what they learned, and that's the only options that you have going. It
Yep.
was like my first oncologist. And, I wasn't going to take that. I wasn't going to take that 1 or 2 years to live BS.
No.
So, um,
No, there's a lot of people though that are just timid though. I mean, they just, or just don't want to deal with it. And in their minds, they're like, okay, whatever doctor I just happen to have, I'm going to go with their opinion because they're the doctor and I'm going to just roll on autopilot. And I don't want to ask anything. I don't want to know nothing. I just want to, go through the process of healing. And unfortunately, unless you're lucky to find, that first doctor that's going to fight with you, you really got to advocate for yourself. And a lot of it's mental too, you got to be in the game, you got to be in it. And,
question things,
it's
research
so hard.
things, bring things up. If one doctor doesn't know, go ask another doctor.
Yeah.
It's important. I got a lot of things I want to do in my life. I mean, I just got married. Um, yeah, plans. We were traveling. Um, I was supposed to get married in Tahiti. Well, I got married. I got married on a little boat in Lake Union in Washington, Seattle. And I should be happy for that. But I still want to go to Tahiti. Okay. I want
Yeah.
to have a bucket list that I have going. And, the only issue now is the HAI pump. You got to be stuck, doing this pump for as long
Yeah,
as
you gotta
you have it
plan,
in.
you gotta make sure you're around when it's the when the 2 weeks are due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was told I couldn't travel outside of the US. Were you told that too, Steve?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Huh.
I was told I couldn't, and I thought, "Well, why?"
Maybe I'll
You're
have to
like,
ask.
"Well, right now, in case you get, maybe due to COVID, in case you get stuck in another
Oh, maybe that's why.
can't
Yeah,
come out."
because if the pump runs out, it could damage the pump.
Yeah,
And for those that you guys aren't familiar with the HIA pump, it's only a one because they put it in your liver artery, they feed it in there. Apparently, it's only a once in a lifetime thing where they can do that. So if your pump dries out and it goes broke, you can't replace it. So that's what my oncologist told me.
yep,
Like they can only do this once. And then they're like, well, if you want to pull it out early, and then let's say the liver tumors come back, within 2 years, or 3 years or whatever, then they can't re-put the pump back in. So my plan is to,
just keep it.
have the pump at least 3 years. Eventually I want to take it out, but at least 3 years. I might change my mind. I might try to, try to last 5 years with the pump just in case. You never know. If I need it again, and then once I hit the 5 years,
Yeah,
no, that should be good. I'll take it out of me, because it's a pain in the butt.
that's my plan. Probably
Yeah.
keep it in 5 years, but
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do with those weekly fills. But I got the 40
I know.
milliliter one, the bigger one.
Yeah. The
Um,
bigger one. Yeah.
So eventually they can fill it up and I could go without a month of coming in. But that's if I hit, NED.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only time. Unless they, give me a go ahead to go on vacation for over 2 weeks, that would be awesome. But I highly doubt that would happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but just hoping it'll work out. You know.
Yep. Absolutely. Now we did. I don't know if you know oh, Linda, I don't want to, if you're listening, I don't want to screw up your last name, but there's she's on my friends, she's also on my Facebook, but she wanted to know about supplements too. So I did pull up what I recommend. Now, I'm not sponsored by this company, so you guys do whatever you want. Jimmy's on here. I don't know if he's still on here or not, but he may have different advice too. Let me just see if I can share the page here of what was sent to me by John from Garage Gym Life Media. Now he is he tries to stream competitions and things like that, and a proponent for or a guy that follows people that have home gyms. He was nice enough to send me this from G Code. I guess he knows the owner. It should pop up on YouTube. I mean, can you see that?
Yeah.
So this right here now is now I've done a lot of whey protein over the years. I've done a lot of different supplements over the years just from working out. So I'm pretty much, know like, because there are a lot of bad tasting stuff out there or a lot of stuff that's like junk fillers. But this one is nice because it's a whey isolate. And if you just do, for those that are trying to like, the caregivers or the cancer fighters that are listening and they want a meal replacement powder or a whey protein, right? The whey protein's usually the way to go, unless you're like plant based, because whey is from, dairy. There's some good plant-based proteins out there, and then there's some bad tasting ones out there. So if you want a good tasting plant protein, just shoot me a message and I can recommend a couple of good tasting ones. But as far as whey, I try to stick with whey isolate. And this one does. This one has the whey isolate because it doesn't bloat you like regular whey protein powder does. It's a hydrolysis. I'm going to screw that word up. Anyway, it's an isolate. So this one has egg whites in it, which is really good. Oats and MCT oil, digestive enzymes, probiotics, full serving of greens. And let me just go to the and it has pretty much everything in there. So if somebody's not they're trying to let's say somebody's losing weight because of chemo or they're early on chemo, your butt, I feel like the more runs of chemo you have, the more rounds you have, the more your body adapts, and you don't tend to your weight tends to fluctuate still, but not as bad. You're able to bounce back faster. I don't know. That's all I found. But in the beginning, it was awful, right? I couldn't I'd have to eat anything, mac and cheese and anything just to keep my weight up. But in the morning, I wouldn't feel like eating anything. But if you're feeling up to like, oh, but at least you can have a shake, I think this is the way to go. I mean, it's got kale, broccoli, spinach in it and things like that. So it's by G Code and it's called Feast. The other thing I recommend is same company. Now, like I said, I'm not sponsored by them. I just like the taste of it. It tastes really good. The one I have is a I can't remember now. Yeah, cinnamon toast crunch. Doesn't that sound good? Cinnamon toast crunch.
So do these
But
gritty at all? That's my bad.
no, this one's not. No. The cheaper proteins can be gritty. This one's no. This one dissolves nice in a blender, and I use the Ninja. And I put ice in it too. In almond milk. I try not to do. I mean, if you're looking at calories, and dairy doesn't bother you, then I guess then do some. You could do whole milk or 2%, but I don't do milk anymore because it does bloat me. As I get older, I seem to be more lactose intolerant, I guess. I don't know. They say we're meant not to drink dairy anyway, but like I said, this is an isolate, and I use almond milk, which is great. And let me see here. Then there's another one. If you're looking at just greens, I think it's going to be on the same page.
Okay, that's the cinnamon toast crunch again.
That's the cinnamon toast crunch. Okay, and let me just restart this. Sorry, guys, hang in there here. Oh yeah, here it is. Greens. Okay, so this one So I've actually tasted a few different companies because I'm not a big veggie guy, and I try to get my greens in, right? And I should be eating more vegetables, but I was always more of a meat potato kind of guy. So if you want some greens in you and you're having trouble getting it down, there's some awful tasting gritty stuff taste out there that you got to like hide the taste with other flavors if you put in a shake. And I've had like no luck. And my wife loves this stuff too. She takes it. And it's green apple goodness. And that green apple is so like it's almost like a cider, like a apple cider taste. Really green apple tasting. It's good. And anyway, so this has all kinds of antioxidants and greens. And it's got the turmeric in there. And cinnamon. And cinnamon's great actually for as a supplement to regulate. It can help regulate sugar levels and insulin spikes because you don't really want any insulin spikes. I guess. Well, unless you having trouble gaining weight, then you want those. But anytime you have an insulin spike, it's not good for your body. But the cinnamon can regulate that. And then it's got we as far as supplements go, I take a turmeric, or curcumin. That helps with inflammation. Anything that helps with inflammation in the body, as far as supplements goes, can help because any kind of things that you're taking in your body that causes inflammation, or look at like the stress levels. That's why it's not good to be stressed. Because it can raise up your cortisol levels. Now, cortisol causes inflammation, and it's not good. And if you're fighting cancer, you don't want those cortisol levels up. They actually, as far as I've heard, recommend not watching thriller movies, not watching, and I know it's tough, if you like thriller movies or action movies, you want to watch a good action flick once in a while. But they actually recommend just watching like documentaries and comedy movies, feel good movies, just any kind of feel good movies because it gets out this serotonin or dopamine, all these good hormones, and it doesn't cause these cortisol levels. And actually watching a thriller or action movie, where you're on your seat of your pants on the couch can cause the cortisol levels actually to go up, which isn't good. You got to live your life though. I mean, it's a balance. You can't just, stop doing everything, but it depends on how strict you're going to be. Some people, their cancer is very, very aggressive. Not that ours isn't, but there's people out there with mutations or not getting as an outcome, as a positive results from their chemo. And so then you have to do certain things, you have to look into some holistic stuff, some supplements and diet changes, try to do anything you can, to kind of help that. But I actually also take mushrooms. Now, not the what do you call it? The psychedelic mushrooms. I'm not talking about those shrooms, but but turkey tail mushrooms have shown to be a good thing for the body for anything, but especially for cancer. Reishi mushrooms too. So, and I get all that by on Amazon. I actually use the ones from Stamets. I can't remember his first name, but Stamets is the leading scientist to the mycelium network for these mushrooms. And they say that it is, it's I don't know the research. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast and things like that, but has been doing good stuff.
I take the AHCC, which is also a mushroom extract.
Okay, HACC. I don't think I heard of that one.
It stands for
out.
active hexosporylated compound. but it's derived from shiitake mushrooms.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, the reishi I've heard about, and there's one other one that I did take while what is it? It's fukudan, and it's a brown mushroom. Oh no, brown seaweed extract that has cancer fighting properties as well. And so I took that for throughout my chemo treatments. But the only reason why I stopped taking the brown seaweed extract was my nutritionist said it was okay for me to take my supplements. But I stopped taking the brown mushroom or the brown seaweed extract, the fukudan, because it acts as a blood thinner, and I'm already getting heparin and that FUDR, so or in the
right.
So I don't need another blood thinner. So, but I've been taking the HCC shiitake mushroom extract still, so, and you know, I think it's working. It's helping shrink things, so I'm not changing a thing when it comes to that. And I got the okay. I got the okay from the doc to take my supplements. So there's some docs out there that say, no, we just want you to stick to the program. We don't want you to take any other supplements, and that's hard for me to take.
We just had somebody join Instagram here.
Mhm.
Hey, we are live. We're actually we suggest you guys go to because I have a guest on, so you can't fortunately can't hear her. I have my guest. So if you go to YouTube, if you go to my link in my bio on my profile, it's a very easy link tree right there. It's got the link to the first one, I believe, is the YouTube stream live. If you go there and join us, you can actually hear us and post questions or comments and things like that. So it's Resilient Renee just joined us. So yeah, check us out there so you can hear us. And hey, she's saying hello. And sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure that
it's all good.
We are paying attention to our audience here. Oh, and Jess just put in a comment. Let's see what she says. She says, supplements are an important part of cancer treatment and wellness. Don't forget to tell your oncologist, though. Some of them interact with chemo. Memorial Sloan Kettering has great info on this. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. My local hospital, my cancer clinic that I'm not really doing anything with except palliative care. But I see Syracuse because they're the only ones that can flush this pump. So I got to drive an hour and a half every 2 weeks, except when I go to Sloan, Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York. But both of them, both the hospital systems, they had this, the nutritionist meet with me, and they have this database system. And so you tell them, because I don't want to be responsible for anything, obviously. So definitely check with your doctor with supplements and don't take our word for it. But any of these supplements you can on your list, give it to your nutritionist and have them look it up in the database. It was not offered to me at my first oncologist cancer clinic. I'm not sure why. I didn't even know to ask. But the nutritionist at these other two places, yeah, sure enough, I gave them a whole list, and they came back. It takes them a little bit. They got to enter all the information. They get back to you within a couple days, and then, they say, hey, yeah, this one's good. This one's okay with your chemo, and cancer. This one's not. So yeah, definitely check with because the doctors might not know. The oncologists themselves might just say, go by word of mouth. They don't really take any nutrition classes. In school they may take a basic one. And then as far as supplements goes, they're just going by maybe old school information. But the nutritionist, she should be, with the database, should be up to par. The only thing that I'm still kind of nervous on is because nobody's been able to really is antioxidants. Now I don't know if you've heard this or not, but some people and even some naturopathic, I'm going to probably say that wrong. Naturopath doctors, holistic doctors say the antioxidants is good for you, and it doesn't do anything with the cancer. But then you've got other places where they tell me, well, yeah, the antioxidants can feed the I don't know if feed's the right word, but fuel the cancer. I don't know what's your take on that, on the antioxidants, or anybody else listening.
I heard the same thing from my oncologist, that they didn't want me taking antioxidants. So I don't know that I would believe the holistic naturopathic doctor, because they don't work with that end of the
Right.
So I've been staying away from the antioxidants because of
I try to.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, you kind of have to like weigh what you want to do. And
Even the milk thistle, like I
yeah,
haven't taken, like
yeah.
they say, like I've heard like good and bad, like yes, it's good, no, it's not good. Obviously if you don't have cancer, milk thistle can help support liver and liver toxins and things like that. But I've also heard that, well, it can kind of, I think it's an antioxidant too. I don't know, or something where it can kind of fuel that cancer too. So I've been on the edge of whether I should start taking that or not, because my enzymes are up and they've always been up.
Oh
And
wow.
so, I mean, that would be nice if it kind of helped the enzymes come down, but not if it's gonna,
Yeah. But
start anything back up. But
yeah, I really haven't added any other supplements as of yet. I've been thinking about it. I just, want all these cancer fighting supplements to take, but there are so many of them. The Turkey Tail, I do have a bottle of
yeah,
that in my cupboard, and have been trying to decide if I should add it into the many different things I take now, because I have so many different medications that I take. Um, not, I mean, it's, my thyroid medication. Um, you don't want that to, affect those things as well. But when you were talking about your nutritionist having a database, my nutritionist had a database as well. And that was
yeah, good.
great, to be able to have that. Um, but at the first oncologist I had, when I was asking questions about, hey, is there a diet I should be on? And I talked to a nutritionist. Oh, we don't have. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Next. So yeah, my following oncologist and cancer center had a good nutritionist, good information from that she could provide, had the database on all the supplements that I'm able to take. Um, you know, her issue with me was gaining more weight, because I've been losing weight. And so,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah. So you got
for
to get your calories up.
to get my calories up, especially that protein up, because I've been losing a lot of muscle weight.
Yeah.
So when I had to transfer my care from Seattle Cancer Care Alliance to the Oregon, Health Science Center, I kind of have to
Oh,
change.
I'm going to pause you right there. We got somebody else that
Oh,
just joined on Instagram.
yeah.
So, hey, Jay Sherfane, I probably screwed up your name there. Yeah, no, it's great. You guys, just check out the link at the bio and on my Instagram, and you can see, Emmie, we have a surprise guest on. So, in order to hear her and you can hear me, but you won't be able to hear her, but you can also see us or see her. If you go to the YouTube link, which is right on the link tree and very easy to get to right from my profile. But this way, it's Joyce. Her name is Joyce. So, yeah, check us up on the link in the bio so you can join us on YouTube. And then you can put in any kind of questions. More than welcome to put questions here on Instagram too. So I have it up on my mobile phone, but then on my computer is the YouTube live. But anyway, Emmie, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just talking about, having a place that had, nutritionists had a good database and
The database,
yeah,
for the
for,
nutrition.
for supplements. I mean, it's really important. I haven't officially met with my new team's nutritionist because, all this treatment is new. Only got my surgery last month. And so they're, this next appointment on Tuesday, I'll be able to talk to my doctor about getting to a nutritionist and working with her because there are questions, what else can I take? Can I continue taking these other supplements that I want or, and to help me gain weight? You've been mentioning those shake supplements. Those are,
Yeah, I mean the feast has the carbs in it.
yeah,
So you're getting an all-in-one, and you can try to, you don't want to replace a meal because then that defeats, unless you're not feeling good, but then that defeats the purpose of putting in extra calories
yeah,
and extra protein. But it's nice if it's a shake because you could do it like in between meals
yeah.
and still get a good amount of calories in and protein and carbs and, get your good
Yeah.
macros in,
I have to try to get in at least 60 grams of protein a day to keep up my muscles. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I would even go
more,
higher.
I,
I mean,
yeah,
honestly.
they want me
Yeah.
to at the very least 60 grams of protein, but that's been difficult.
Yeah.
I, with going through chemo, I have, this like really bad acid reflux. So I could only have a certain amount of, I mean, sometimes those protein shakes are huge. So I could only have like a certain amount of it before I feel like, okay, it's stuck in my chest. I can't take any more and have to put the rest in the fridge and come back to it.
Yeah.
But trying to get all that protein in, fish, I try to do fish protein. I try to stay away from the red. Sorry about my dog there.
Oh, it's all right. I got one. She's sitting right here. She's being quiet right now. But
I try to stay away from red meats, but I'm anemic too. So they're like, no, we want you to have as much protein red meat as you can right now.
yeah.
In order to,
And speaking of that red meat, it's, they were saying that, they give you this, when you first get diagnosed with cancer, they give you this folder and it can be overwhelming. But part of it on there is about red meat, how it can cause inflammation. And so my take on that is, it's because of, and there's, people out there like we had like last night, don't forget, we got to talk about the Clubhouse too,
yeah,
before we end this session. But, we've got people from overseas or Canada. I just talked to Marv this morning from Canada. So, they have Canada's meats actually. My brother lives in Toronto too. So so the meat's different. It's not like the US red meat where it's filled with antibiotics and hormones. And what happens is all these antibiotics and hormones that they pump up with this red meat can cause inflammation for the cancer. And it's not just red meat. I mean, the chickens, they're pumping the chickens up. That's why I was trying to do more ground turkey than chicken, because turkeys, they could still fill them up with hormones and antibiotics, but they tend to do more with the chickens, and the red meat, of course. But as long as you get the range free, the ones if it specifically says on the package, no growth hormones and no antibiotics, right? It's more expensive, the organic stuff. You're talking, versus couple $3 a pound of red meat, the cheap stuff versus, you got to spend $7 a pound. I don't know where you are, but I think it's like $7 a pound red meat here for no growth hormones or no no antibiotics. But that's like, as far as I know, check with your doctor, but that's okay to take because it's not filled. That's not going to, cause inflammation for the cancer because that's what it is, the red meat. It's all that crap that they fill in here in the US on these animals.
Yeah, it's you're right about the prices on I go to Whole Foods once in a while and buy meat there. And but I like I said, I kind of stay but
My
like
cat.
I try to stay with the fish more than more than anything.
Yeah.
But the protein and the red meats, you just get more of it, and you get the iron. And because I've been doing the iron iron pills as well, trying to get the
Oh,
red
yeah.
blood cells up because I'm on the verge of being well. I am anemic, so I'm on the verge of being on iron infusions and possibly
Oh, wow. Yeah.
eventually, you know, transfusions. They don't want to go that route, but I've been
Yeah.
to that point. But um
What about when you do the fish? Do you try to do like because I know like the white fish doesn't have a lot of calories. I mean, it might be,
yeah,
lower protein,
yeah, it's filled with
but
protein.
but salmon, has the protein in it, but also has a lot of the good fats,
Yes.
and calories.
Yes. So I have salmon a lot.
Yeah.
My preference is Chilean sea bass, which is ridiculously expensive.
Wow.
It's delicious, everybody.
Huh. I never tried it. I don't think I've
Um,
ever tried it.
but like a small little portion, gosh, it has like, I want to say 29, 30 grams of protein in it. So
Wow.
yeah,
It's pretty
but
good.
I mean, a lot of the seafoods, they do have high content of protein. You just have to eat a little bit more of it. Um,
I love sushi and
yeah.
poke bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did your doctor tell you to stay away from fresh, like raw meats? Well, they're like, okay,
No.
never ever have, steak
What?
tartare, and we want you to stay away from like sushi and all these raw.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought,
Oh,
and it,
I can't eat a fully cooked tuna.
I
Like it's got to be red on the inside and just a little bit of a sear on the
yes,
ends. I mean, I
well,
love raw
I
seafood.
I love I oyster shooters, all that stuff, but they finally told me, they're like, well, we don't want you to get a stomach bacterial infection. And that'll be bad for you. That,
Oh, but
but I
they
thought,
flash freeze it and it's sushi grade, and I don't worry about that stuff. I mean, unless you're gonna go fishing yourself
but
and then eat it
I
raw.
still, I still have sushi. I still
Yeah.
oyster.
Yeah. I mean, the farm raised is what they say that you shouldn't has more of a chance of the bacteria of eating
Yes.
if it's farm raised salmon or tuna. That's why you should do the wild caught
Yeah.
if it's gonna, but it should still be flash frozen, just to be on the safe side. But
But yeah, sushi, all those things, poke bowls. Yeah, I
yeah,
still have them, even though they said
yeah.
no. And I thought, what's you know, I- it's not like I'm going to be eating a raw fish every day. Just,
No, I mean it's no, but yeah, and I miss because of my tongue and my mouth because the spiciness affects me so much now. I miss that spicy mayo
yeah.
on my on my sushi.
Yes. Yes. My palate's finally coming back ever since I've been off of the Oxy.
Yeah, it's a little
Um,
better. Yeah.
it's a lot better, but yeah, the spicy foods now, I could do them. But yeah, so the diet has been difficult lately, but I've been plugging through, trying to do those protein shakes, get that protein in. But yeah, if anyone else has any input on some good, ways of getting protein, iron, that would be helpful. So if you're out there, I'd love to hear from
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, I don't know if you've ever tried like protein bars, and some of them are just awful. But Quest protein bars are pretty good tasting. Then there's also the One brand. One. They're pretty good tasting protein bars too.
Huh.
So, but yeah, because I mean, you go to these other protein bars and they're either bad tasting or they're just filled with crap. Like they're not actually like good for you. So you got to like, watch, you got to be, be careful on the protein bars, but that's what I would say, they're pretty good. The Quest bars.
I have to try them out. Haven't been a total fan of protein bars, but I haven't tried them.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it in the microwave for like 5 or 7 seconds and it
Oh,
tastes good.
oh,
Especially if it's like an apple pie flavor protein Quest bar, or they have like a birthday cake one that's pretty good. Cookies and cream.
well, they have a lot of them. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of different flavors. Yeah. Yep. So
How are
anyway,
we doing? Any
yeah.
guests out there?
I think there's anybody want to chime in here on the comment section to see who's still here. I can't tell. There might be we're down to one guest, so maybe we'll wrap it up.
Mm.
There's so many things like I want to talk about too. This has been great. We didn't really touch on a lot of stuff, but we touched on a few things, which is good. We'll leave it, because this can go on and on
Yeah.
and on. But you guys listening out there, this will be on the YouTube for people to listen to later. I'm gonna stick the audio on my platform for the podcast. So Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon podcast, that'll all be there, just the audio portion. And then I always tell people, hey, check out the YouTube stream, because you can actually see us talking and see the engagement, which is different. But some people don't, they like to just listen. They're driving to work, and they're just listening to the podcast, the audio podcast, which is great. So that's why I try to, we did put up a couple stuff on the screens regarding the supplements and things like that. I'll put that in the description, because you guys not going to be able to see it if you're listening on the regular podcast. But yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to add here for our guests before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for listening to my story, and and I hope to see more of Steve's podcast. And oh, hey, I do want to bring up we had a group meeting yesterday through I don't know if
Oh
anyone
yeah,
has the
I
Clubhouse
forgot.
app. Thought I'd bring it up, Steve. Um,
Yeah.
if anyone has the Clubhouse app, we have a group that we will be meeting every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that's about 7 p.m.
Yep, 7 p.m. Eastern time for me.
And
But Thursdays, right? Thursdays, I'll put that on there. Now I think you need a special invite though, right? Or can they just click on a link and join?
I think the group is called colon cancer warriors. So if you go look in and look for that club, you could go in and follow or be a member of the club, join the club. And you'll get notifications, which I'm not fond of how the Clubhouse app notifications are, because you hit the little bell at the top, or you hit a little calendar in order to see what's going on. But if you go into the club itself, there will be a notification in there that there's a meeting, and there'll be a little bell. And you could hit that bell, and what happens is it will add the meeting into your personal calendar. So it will transfer that over, and you could just click on the link off your personal calendar, and it'll get right into the meeting. But you
Yeah, and they'll also just send you an automatic message when you start, because that's how because sometimes you can forget or whatever.
Yeah.
You got so much stuff going on, and you're like, yeah, I want to go. It's like a week away or 5 days away, and even if it's on your calendar,
But yeah,
it's nice. It gets you that notification. You're like, oh, here we go.
but
Now it's
yeah.
time.
Please join us. We've got a small group going. We have about 54 members, but it's kind of a touch and go with people's schedules and everything. But we plan to having it on Thursdays. 4 p.m. Pacific time, and
Yeah. Now this is now you have the group here, colon cancer warriors, I think it's called, right?
Mhm.
So there's listeners out there that are have other cancers too,
Feel free
but
to join.
we strongly what's that?
Yes, feel free to join. All are welcome.
Yeah, I
Come in.
mean, definitely. I mean, we all have similar, chemo treatments and the mental aspect of fighting cancer. No matter what it is, we're all in the same boat together. But Clubhouse is a great app because they have there might be other rooms. So if you have a different kind of cancer, you can feel free to check out other rooms too as well, or you're an entrepreneur, or any I mean, they've got anything. It's not just for cancer. It's just a lot of good information.
Yes, there's also another cancer group I'm in. It's Cancer Club that's on there, and it's Michael Stern's group, and it's
Oh yeah, survivors,
for
right?
cancer survivors.
Or fighters.
So if you want to
Yeah.
join that club too, I suggest joining his as well. And that one is on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that'd be 9 p.m. East Coast. So,
Okay.
yes. So I suggest you join that one too. And they have a lot of good conversations on there as well. So,
Yeah, I got to get Michael Stern on here
yeah.
for a
Oh, he'd
podcast.
be
And
great. He'd be great
yeah,
to have.
and Emmy, you should think about joining the panel. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that later offline. But yeah, about this, trying to do this once a month thing and having a group of us on here. And maybe I'll reach out to Michael too, see if he's interested
That would,
in doing that. And Jess, I don't know if you're still on. She says, thanks guys for covering so many topics, but hey, think about it. We're looking for people to join this Q&A panel, coffee in the morning thing, maybe in November. I want to do a meet and greet with the people that aren't interested. Obviously offline and not recorded or anything, just to kind of meet the team,
that would be
I guess.
great.
And, yeah, so we'll probably do that sometime next month. I'm just trying to finalize people that want to do it. So Jess or anybody else that's listening, if you guys want to do it, it's fine. And if there's a month that you can't make it, that's fine. We'll do it every month, and you just come on a month that you're able to do it. But yeah,
I'll get Tani to come on board.
yeah,
She's great.
yeah, that'll be great.
You met her yesterday, so
Yeah,
that would she's wonderful. Would be a good person to have in the group. But yes,
yeah, that'll be great. All right. Well, we'll wrap things up on this live stream. This is great. We're definitely gonna have to do this again. I like that we talked about different topics, and yeah, there she goes, Jess. I'd love to join you sometime. All right, great. Yeah, we'll reach out to you offline. Also, I'll send you some information on that. But yeah. So anyway, everybody, check us out on the next episode. And keep watching us, and check me out on Instagram. It's Cancer Hope with Coach Steve. Instagram, I put up funny memes and some positive affirmations on there, and things like that on there. So, and then any kind of podcasts, notifications, or going live, I post on there as well. And then, feel free to join these Facebook groups. There's so many of them. And, Colon Town, you mentioned, if you are a colon cancer. And then the one that I really like is the one that we met. It's a smaller group, which,
the colon
but it's
cancer
nice.
support group beating stage 4 with positivity. I believe is that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put positivity, something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot the moderator, the Joanna
Yes.
is a moderator.
The
Yeah, so it's a good one. So I'll put that up in the comments too for those that's looking for good groups, because there's so many out there. And then there's ones that people engage and there's ones that people don't engage. And then if the group's too many, you
Kind of get lost.
connect with people. Yes. And this one is nice because I think there's only 1,000, maybe 1,400 people. But, you always see the same people though.
But they're vocal. Yeah.
Posting.
Exactly.
And we kind of engage. We kind of, oh yeah, I know that name, and then you kind of, talk whatever on Facebook, and I've connected with you and so many other people too. So it's nice.
Very
to
nice.
have that connection.
Have a connection.
But yeah. All right, everybody. We'll end this, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Steve.
You got it.
Bye for now.
From the Cancer Sucks Studios, that is a wrap. Check us out in future episodes of our podcast and be sure to subscribe. But before we go, just want to give a shout out to all the admirable and devoted caregivers out there. Until next time, stay strong. We got this.
Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.